والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه والتابعين لهم بإحسان إلى يوم النشور. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. اللهم معلم إبراهيم علمنا ومفهم سليمان فهمنا. Inshallah, before we proceed, I'd like to review the past lesson. So I will ask one of you or some of you to volunteer to define what kalam is. Al-kalam, man al-kalam, the meaning of kalam. Any volunteer before we proceed this? As a form of review. Is it useful to review? Yes, very useful. Al-kalam fi silah al-nahwiyin, in the terminology of grammarians. In Arabic first. واللفظ المركب المفيد بالوضع. Right? What is the meaning? What is spoken like a speech? Something that is speech, that is spoken from the mouth, right? On the mouth, with the tongue. Right? So let us make some specifications. When we say al-lafz, what does it mean? Contrary to the lafz will be what? In other words, so the al-lafz itself will mean what? That is a speech. So kalam, right? Kalam itself, speech now. Right? So speech comes from the mouth, right? Now, that's what is meant by what? By al-lafz. That is the first qeyd, that's the first condition. The first characteristic, the first feature of kalam must be what? A lafz. Right? And then next will be what? We said lafz al-murakab. What does it mean? Al-murakab. That well constructed. Now, wait, is it necessary to construct? Sometimes not. So if it does not mean construct, if it is not necessary to construct, then you can voice out just one word. Without construction, it remains one word. Will that contain a meaning? Only the context. So the context falls under what? Tarkib, that is construction. It has to be constructed. So you can say 1,000 words, like what? Ibrahim, Ismail, Russia, Almania, Wakela, right? These are all words. But they cannot be what? Said to be speech because they lack what? Construction. So that second feature is very important when you say al-murakab. Now, lafzul murakab, the third will be what? Al-mufid. And this construction, this cluster of words must be useful, something beneficial. Now, give examples of words that make no sense, that do not benefit. Any example? Al-waladu walibu sayyaratu. That's right. So if you leave this house, if you leave this masjid, what happens? No. They don't have meaning. So the third qeyd or the third feature must be what? That's a meaning. That's a meaning. So now, want sentence well constructed that bear these three features. Must be spoken word. It must have what? Well constructed and must be useful, meaningful. Give a sentence of that nature. Sama faqana. MashaAllah, sama faqana. What is the meaning of sama faqana? The sky is above us. True or false? You have Very beautiful sentence. Now, you have three words put together, well constructed, with meaning. Now, and the, ah, that is the fourth one. That's the fourth one. So the fourth one is what? Al-wadu. So al-wadu here is an indication of what? It has to be in Arabic. Because we are dealing with Arabic language. This is the key to understanding the Quran and the Sunnah. It has to be in Arabic. Now, so if a man from Russia, there are some people who speak Russia in Arabic in Russia. If a man stands on the minbar in Russia and gives a khutbah in Russia, do you call it Arabic? Do you call it kalam? To the grammarians, Nahwiyin, ليس بالكلام. No, the Arab grammarians don't consider a man speaking on the pulpit, giving a whole khutbah, very wonderful, amazing, fantastic khutbah. But in Russia, grammarians, Arab grammarians, do not consider his what? His speech on the minbar as what? A speech. Subhanallah. On the other hand, if Ayub stands on this minbar and begins to talk to us in Arabic, what? His word is taken as what? As speech, because he delivers his khutbah in what? Arabia. This is what we call what? Al-wadu. Al-wadu. So al-wadu here is limited to what? Arabia. If these three or four conditions are put together, they form what we call what? Al-kalam. Speech. في النظر النحويين. Now, so with that given, we are going to proceed to the what? Next. So, وأقسامه يعني أقسامه إيه؟ أقسام الكلام. What's the meaning of أقسام الكلام? Parts of speech. Parts of speech. Now start the reading.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. أقسام الكلام. قال المؤلف ثم قال وأقسامه ثلاثة. أقسام الكلام ثلاثة. انتبه.
نعم. أقسام الكلام ثلاثة. أقسام الكلام ثلاثة. What does it mean? Yeah, that's right. The parts of speech, this word, this sentence is what? Three.
انتبه. والحصر يحتاج إلى توجيه. فإذا قال قائل دليل على أن الأقسام الكلام ثلاثة.
Are you understanding? إذا قال قائل ما الدليل على أن أقسام الكلام ثلاثة? If anyone says that the parts of speech are three, what are you going to say? The Shaykh is trying to take us to what? To what kalam is, the parts of speech. Now,
هل في القرآن ما يدل على أن أقسام الكلام ثلاثة؟
Stop. هل في القرآن ما يدل على أن أقسام الكلام ثلاثة? Is there any dalil, evidence, proof in the Quran that indicates that the parts of speech are three? Who are the reciters of the Quran? Have you ever come across an ayah that indicates that parts of speech are three? Are you nodding your head in recognition or in rejection? No, it's not. You can ransack the pages of the Quran. You can rummage the pages of the Quran. Never you will find any ayah that says that what the parts of speech in Arabic grammar are three. It's nowhere to be found. Then where did you get it from? Continue.
أو في السنة ما يدل على أن أقسام الكلام ثلاثة.
Stop. Similarly, is there a way that you can read all the pages of Sunnah, Kutubu Sita, or Ziyada, read all of the hadith of Rasulullah and come out with any delay that will show that the parts of speech, according to the grammarians, are three? Try. I'll give you that assignment. And I can assure you that you spend the rest of your life, you will never be able to put your hand on any dalil in either the Quran or what? The Sunnah that will show that the parts of speech are three. It is impossible. You cannot find out. So why do you waste your time? Now listen to the grammarians. Are you listening to them? You are ready. Let's go on.
أو في الإجماع ما يدل على أن أقسام الكلام ثلاثة، أو في القياس ما يدل على أن أقسام الكلام ثلاثة، نقول ليس في الكتاب ولا السنة.
Similarly, go to the ijma, the consensus of the Muslims, of the Ummah. Go to qiyas, the analogies, the analysis, just everywhere, research, investigate. You cannot come to any delay from all these sources. So how did we know? How did we get to this point that the parts of speech are what? Three. As shown by Shaykh, what? Ajroomiyyah. Where did he get it from? Let's pay attention to this.
نقول ليس في الكتاب ولا السنة ولا الإجماع ولا القياس، لأن هذه الأدلة إنما نحتاج إليها في إثبات الأحكام الشرعية، أما النحو فلا يحتاج إلى هذا.
So all these sources, Al-Quran, or Sunnah, or Ijma, or Qiyas, all these things are sources of what? Islamic legislation, of Islamic jurisprudence. Now, that is where you ask for, what is the delay? Then you become a quote, لأن الله بدليل قوله تعالى إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي ولذلك اتحتم علينا صلاة على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. أليس كذلك؟ نعم. What is the reason that you say what? Salat al-Nabi, Salat al-Ibrahimiyya. Why? Why is your delil? Because Allah says what? Inna Allah malaikatahu ila akhir ayah. Alaysa kadhalik? Tayyib. So, can you do that with this now? We say, no. Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah say, no, you cannot find that. Now, so where did the grammarians, how did they get to this point? That is what we are dealing with right now. Are we following? Are you following? MashaAllah. طيب.
أما النحو فلا يحتاج إلى هذا، لكن للعلماء دليل على انحصار أقسامه في ثلاثة، وهو التتبع والاستقراء، يعني أن العلماء رحمهم الله.
So this is the source where the Arab grammarians got this information. It's التتبع والاستقراء. What is التتبع والاستقراء? And istiqra al-amr is analyzing, investigation, searching. They search, they investigate, put all sources together, and from practical experience, empirical experience, they came to the conclusion that this is it. The speech is not from the Quran, it's not from the Sharia sources, it's from what? These three sources. Now, human experience, research, their culture, traditions, and all of this is the indicator that parts of speech, according to the grammars of the Arabic language, are three. Now,
تتبعوا كلام العرب فوجدوا أنه لا يخرج عن هذه الأقسام الثلاثة اسم وفعل وحرف ما يخرج عن أقسامه الثلاثة.
Now, so their findings brought them to this conclusion that Past for speech revolves around. It is, that is what? What is ism? Noun or a name. And then find the verb and all these forms. And then what? Have the particles. Now, all these three form the solid base composition. What? Kalam, what you call speech, or the spoken word in what? In Arabic language. Are you okay on that? Let's continue.
حسنا إذا قلت
Hassan comes from whom? Hassan comes from who's saying Hassan here? Shaykh Uqbah is trying to what? Shed some light on all of this. So this comes from his explanation. Are we ready to listen to his explanation? Now go on.
حسنا إذا قلت صح يكون فعلا هو اسم فعل إذن لا يخرج عن كونه اسما يعني فالاسم يشمل الاسم الخالص.
So ismu here is saying that ismu that is not associated with what? With any verb or any time. Ismu, when you mention that word means name, a noun, without any verb attached to. That is what? Real noun, real name. For example, if you say Ibrahim, but when you say Sah or Mah, what is Mah? You say keep quiet, for example. Ismu, they call Ismu Fil. Ismu, the name, at the same time, it is connected to what? A verb. So it is not exclusively what? A name or a noun. But when you say Al-Masjid, what comes to your mind? That's right. When you say Ibrahim, it's a name. When you say Mecca, it's a name. These are specific, special names that what comes to your mind when any of these names are mentioned is what? It's a name. It's the name of a place or a thing or a human being or proper names. Now, that's what he's trying to explain here. Now, that kind of name, once you call it, you say it or you pronounce it, it leaves no room for any other interpretation except what? To say that this is a name. Now,
صح يكون فعلا هو اسم فعل إذا لا يخرج عن كونه اسما يعني فالاسم يشمل الاسم الخالص. واسم الفعل أقسامه ثلاثة. الدليل التتبع والاستقراء يعني أن العلماء تتبعوا واستقرأوا كلام العرب فنظروا أنه لا يخرج عن هذه الأقسام الثلاثة فقالوا إن أقسام الكلام ثلاثة اسم وفعل وحرف.
Basically, he's emphasizing what he has said before, that we're following on the heels of subsequent to what? Research, investigation, empirical experience, so forth and so on. He came to conclusion that when we are talking about kalam, it consists of these three parts: the what, the name or noun, and then what, the verb, and then also the particle. Now, let's stop here in a minute. I want you to bring me example. I want examples of names. Names as you do, nouns, names. Nouns are forms. A noun, there are many forms of noun. You have proper nouns. You have what? Nouns that are names of just things. You have names of places. Then you have abstract nouns also. Now, name of proper nouns. See, proper noun is like what? Ibrahim, like names of human beings. We call them proper nouns. Mohammed, Thomas, right? Now, these are proper nouns. Names of places: Mecca, Medina, Kudus, Okay, these are called what? Names of places. The names of things. Keshajara, Al-Bayt, Al-Masjid. These are names of things. Now, so you have to be careful, because if you don't know these parts, you might consider other things to be names also, but they are not names. So, but if you know the parts, they are useful. What of abstract noun? So you have mentioned what? Proper nouns, names of things and places. What of abstract noun? Abstract noun. Pain? Yes, pain. Can you see pain? Yeah, abstract noun is abstract. You cannot see it. You cannot touch it. It is untouchable. It is not tangible that you can touch. But pain, you feel pain. So it's called abstract noun. Or what else? Huh? What? Mawada. No, that's fine. Nam. Mawada. These are all nouns. They are names. But you don't see them. You call them what? Abstract nouns. So interview. Wait. Go on. والمؤلف
والمؤلف رحمه الله نظرا لكون كتابه مختصرا وللمبتدئين لم يحد الاسم باسم حاص يعني ما حده بالرسم لكن حده بالحكم والعلامة فالاسم مثلا بعض النحويين يقول هو ما دل على معنى في نفسه.
So now, right now, just as we have said before, these scholars are trying to identify and explain further that names that are being taught here, that are being discussed here, are names that when you mention, it only gives you the impression that this is what name, without being what? It gives no chance for anybody to think that, no, maybe it's a place, no, or a verb, no. Just name what? The first thing that comes to your mind is what? Is a name. Now, that's what it's explaining.
بعض النحويين يقول هو ما دل على معنى في نفسه وقال
some scholars say that name is what shows what? Meaning in itself. It can stand alone. It doesn't need any other object or any other word to push it. No, when you said a name, you hear it, you know that what? This a name, a noun. It has that meaning. It can stand on its feet without any support. It can stand by itself now.
وخلا بهيئته عن الدلالة على الزمان والفعل ما دل على معنى في نفسه وإنما يظهر معناه في غيره.
Now, others are saying that, for example, verb is also has the same meaning. A verb can have meaning, but only when it is what? Connected what? With other words. These are just sort of explanations to let you understand what? To clarify what now is, how different it is from what? From a verb.
لكن هذا في الحقيقة مع صعوبته على المبتدئ فائدته قليلة. إذا نقول أعطنا علامة من أجل إذا وجدنا هذه العلامة عرفنا ما الاسم.
So what Shaykh rahimahullah, I love this Shaykh. He says that all these complexities, all these embellishments are waste of time. They don't really mean anything. They are not useful at all. All that is useful is that ism. When they call Ibrahim, it is Ibrahim. When you call going, it is going. The boy is going to go to feel. You don't need all these explanations. They are not useful. What is useful is that is the features and characteristics that are attached to the verb, or the characteristics that are attached to what? To the noun. These characteristics are what make what a noun, a name. Because as it's coming to explain, the ism itself has what? Has features by which they are identified. Any name, for example, ism, we have seen that it has to have the what? Tenween, as it's going to explain. Now, what, like the new nation, the alif and lam, All these features will tell you that this is what is a name or a noun. But all these standing a lot, being held by other features, these are not useful at all now. So don't be bothered by that, especially talking to beginners now. He's concerned that the beginners should not be what? To confuse with these perplexities now.
علامات الأسماء.
Now we are going to start a new topic. A new topic. Alamatul Asma. What does it mean? It means what? The signs by which the nouns can be what? Identified. When you see these signs, you know that this is a name or a noun. Are we okay on that?
يقول فالاسم يعرف بالخفض.
فالاسم يعرف بالخفض. So the noun or the name is known by or identified by what? Al-khafd. Go on. Al-khafd.
والتنوين دخول الألف واللام وحروف الخفض.
Now these terms, it's going to explain to us. Do we know these terms? Assume you don't know. No, that's why we are here. The Shaykh is going to explain to us, and we are going to interpret it. He's the scholar. We are the students. Our duty is what? Interpret what the Shaykh is saying. Are you okay on that? So, listen to his interpretation. Now,
أربع
علامات. What's أربع علامات? Four signs. Four signs.
يعرف بالخفض. الخفض هو الجر.
Okay. They say يعرف بالخفض. The khafd here, which Shaykh Ajroomiyyah is saying, is what? As al-khafd. What is khafd? Khasra? Jar. Somebody says khasra, somebody says jar. Somebody says kasra, another one says jar. You are all right. But let's just listen to the Shaykh, because the Shaykh will judge us here. Let's go on, go on.
لكن الكوفيون.
Here's the issue. Al-khafd is the same as jar. Al-khafd is the same as what? It's kasra. Now, but in Arabic language, there are two major principal divisions, opinions. You have one that belongs to the people of Kufa, that is Al-Kufiyun, and you also have what? Al-Basriyun. Basra meaning they are from what? Al-Basra. Now, they have opinions about that. But these opinions, are they major? We shall listen. Now pay attention. Fale.
لكن الكوفيون يعبرون عن الجر بالخفض.
لكن الكوفيون يعبرون عن الجر بالخفض. That kasra, which you might call what? Jar. The Kufiyun, they say this is called khafd. When they say jar, they call it what? Khafd. They term it khafd. So if the Kufiyun termed kasra khafd, then who terms it what? Jar by whom? Al-Basriyun. So Al-Basriyun, they say what? Jar instead of khafd. That is the gist of what he's saying here. Very simple. Now,
والبصريون يعبرون عن الخفض بالجر وإلا فالمعنى واحد.
وإلا فالمعنى واحد. Other than that, other than this analysis, all these complexities, all these expressions, they all mean the same thing. They all boil down to what? One meaning, and that is what? Kasra.
لكن هذا اصطلاح لهم. الكوفي يقول خفض والبصري يقول جر. حسنا، الخفض إذا وجدنا كلمة مخفوضة عرفنا أنها اسم مثل مررت برجل كريم. أما رجل فلها علامة غير الخفض، لكن كريم ما العلامة على أنها اسم الخفض.
Here is the point. Now, therefore, if we say that both al-khafd and jar means kasra, both of these two are indication that what they are attached to is what? Is ism. Is ism. Who can give an, and he, the Shaykh gave an example, marartu bi rajulin. Okay. So, marartu bi rajulin. Marartu bi rajulin. The word rajulin, what is what parts of speech does it belong to? Ism. Ism. Right. How did you know that it is ism? Because of the it's a mafud now or majrur bimada, because there is what? Tenwin there, the khaft now. So it is easy. It tells you that there's no way that you can get past that. Once you see this khaft at the end of a word, it is an indication that is what? It is ism. Difficult? Very easy. Now, who can volunteer to give us, let's go on further. Let's go on further. Go on to the next page.
مررت برجل كريم أما رجل فلها علامة غير الخفض، لكن كريم فالعلامة على أنها اسم الخفض، أنها خفضت يعني جرت. إذا رأينا كلمة مجرورة أو مخفوضة على تعبير المؤلف فهي اسم. كذلك يعرف بالتنوين.
كذلك يعرف بالتنوين. Very simple. So you have that the kasra and then tanween. What is tanween? Two kasra, either two kasras or two nunation or nunation. Nam. And as a matter of fact, tanween, they call it skun, nun sakina. They call it nun sakina if it is stopped end. Nam. But when it is being continued, then it is because here the word n at the end of the noon is what? N, as if it's what? It is skund. Now, so this tanween, either kasratin or domatin or fatatin, they are all indication, very important indication that what you are dealing with at the end of the word, that word is what? This is it. Let's go.
فالتنوين لا يدخل إلا على الأسماء.
So as we have said, tanween, they are only attached and connected to what? Al-asma, nouns or names. Now,
فإذا وجدت الكلمة منونة فاعلم أنها اسم. فإذا قيل هذا رجل اسم أم فعل اسم.
It's asking a question. It's asking a question. فإذا قيل هذا رجل اسم أم فعل اسم. Why? Tanween. Alama. Tanween. Are you okay on that? MashaAllah. At the end of the word. It has to come at the end of the word. And if it comes at the end of the word, don't think of anything else. Always think about what? Ism. Now.
من أين علمنا أنها
اسم؟
التنوين.
How did we know that is a noun or a name? A tanween.
رجل برجل اسم فيه علامتان خفض وتنوين.
This is important. رجل في علامتان. رجل في علامتان. The رجل is رجل. Okay, this رجل is what? Now, how did we know that it is now? Only tell me.
The رجل
في علامتان. What's that?
Understood to be a noun.
So look at the sentence. That is not here. It will come later. But we are dealing with what? Tanween and halved. So far we are dealing with tanween and halved. Halved is what? Jar. See, maral to be rajulin. What is the meaning of maral to be rajul? I passed by a man. So yeah, we are dealing with a man. A man in the first place is what? Singular. Since it's singular, be here would make it what? Have a jerry. So you have a jerry here. At the same time, it is what? Singular. So you have nunation. So these are the two alamas. First alama is what? It is singular. Second alama is what? It is made what? After preposition. Because be there is what? Preposition. So in the first place, it's a preposition. And then the second stage is what? Nunation. So two alamas. There won't be three. The three will be what? If you attach it to alif and lam. And that is impossible. You cannot have a nunation, tanween, and then alif and lam in the same word. It is impossible. You can go to heaven and hell. It is impossible. No, two. Two. Yes, two. Yes, two. So the Shaykh is right when he says that it's muwafi alamatan. Khafudun wa tanween. Are we okay? MashaAllah. Fine. Continue.
قال الثالث دخول الألف واللام.
Now, here is your point. Al-Thalith, the third alama or sign is what? Dukhul al-alif wal-lam. What is alif and lam? We don't know. The Shaykh is going to give us detailed explanation of alif and lam. So be all ears.
البصريون يقولون دخول ال والخلف في هذا بسيط.
The difference between is very easy. Because the Shaykh mentioned that the attachment of what? Alif and lam is also an indication that a word is what? A noun or a name. What is the small difference? It's an argument. Are you prepared to listen to the argument? For scholarly reasons. Let's listen to what they are saying. What are they saying?
البصريون يقولون دخول ال والخلف في هذا بسيط. والبصريون يقولون إن هذه كلمة مكونة من حرفين.
Here's the point. When you say alif and lam, alif lam, it's composed or it consists composed of how many letters? Two. That's what the Basurian are saying. Wait, alif and lam. One.
والكلمة من حرفين ينطق بلفظها. والكوفيون يقولون هذه كلمة مكونة من حرفين لكنهما حرفان هجائيان.
That's right. What the Kufiyun are saying is that, what I mean, you say alif lam, right? As al, one word, left, one word. Kufiyun are saying that, what I mean, you have alif and then lam. Are they the same or they are two separate letters? Are they the same or two separate letters? There are two separate letters, then you have Anta-Kufi. Anta-Kufi. You see? If you agree that there are two separate letters, then you subscribe to the what? Opinion of the Kufiyun. But if you say Al is considered as one level's Al, then you are a Basri. Hassan Basri? Or Ibrahim Basri? No. So this is the issue. So this argument, they have reasons why they arrived at those arguments. Can you listen to the reason? Here's what they are saying. Go on.
إحداهما ليس أصليا حتى نقول إنا ننطق بلفظها. إذن بماذا ننطق باسمها نقول الألف واللام انتبه. فصار أيضا الكوفيون والبصريون يختلفون في الذين في الكتاب.
الذي في الكتاب.
الذي في
So here is the point. Here is the argument. The kitab, ذلك الكتاب. The kitab in what? ذلك الكتاب. See the ayah?
ذلك
Alif Lam ذلك الكتاب. So when it says ذلك الكتاب, the al there, is it considered to be one or two? It is or two separate letters. Is it considered to be one letter? ذلك الكتاب. No? So do you consider to be one speech, one letter, or two separate letters? You didn't say it. If you say al is considered to be one letter, you are basari. Because you know what is Hamza was there? It is connected, so we call asli. The origin. The origin is taken. It's not part of it. So they consider it what? As one way. When they say then al and then lam, alif, lam, it's considered to be one. Those who don't consider to be one, they think of what? Alif as one letter and then lam also as one letter. But in the final analysis, Shaykh Rahimahullah is saying that all this is just jargons, just a show of scholarship, show of embellishments in speech. They don't really add any value actually to what is at stake as Gamaliels. Now, alif lam, whether it is read as in the kitab by way of Hamza al-Wasli, so you don't actually call the R, right? Just join it, alif, ذلك الكتاب. Just what is heard, what you hear is what? Is the lam, right? The Hamza al-Wasl has been omitted, been absorbed by what? By the lam. That's how we all read what? Our Quran. That's what our understanding. You want to say that Ash-Shajara, for example. What do you say? Ash-Shajara? You say Al-Shajara? No, Ash-Shajara. So that what? It is absorbed, the lamb absorbed there because it's what? Shamsiyah. Minhuruf Shamsiyah. It's absorbed it. As opposed to what? Huruf Kamariya. They don't. So all these things are not very useful. It's not to my mind, but to Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen, and we subscribe to it. Rahimahullah. Are you okay on that? Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
هل نقول الألف واللام أو نقول إن كنت بصريا فقل وإن كنت كوفيا فقل الألف واللام حسنا. حجة البصريون قالوا إن حرفان والكلمة إذا كانت حرفين ينطق بلفظها، لهذا فقل من حرف جر ولا تقل الميم والنون حرف جر، وتقول اللام حرف جر ولا تقل لي حرف جر. لكن الكوفيون يقولون إن الهمزة ليست أصلية في الكلمة، لأن الهمزة يؤتى بها للوصل، ولهذا تسقط عند الدرج الاتصال. فتقول مثلا أكرمت الرجل هل جاءت الهمزة ما جاءت، وتقول مثلا والقمر إذا تلاها القمر هل جاءت الهمزة ما جاءت الهمزة. إذن فننطق باسمها ونقول الألف واللام حسنا.
So here the explanation that Shaykh is giving now, as we are explaining in the ayahs, وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا تَلَاهَا. This one that is al-Qamar here, the Hamza wasli, they absorbed it. So actually there's no mention of the al. Well, we cannot say that what al-qamal, wa al-qamali. No, you want to join it, but you don't say wa al-qamari. You don't say what. You say what well qamari, all joined together. So, quite frankly, it doesn't really matter. What we have to know is that Alif and Lam, whether they are subscribed to Kufiyun or subscribed to Basriyun, they mean what? Alif and Lam. But can anybody deny that both letters consist of Alif and Lam? No. This Alif and Lam, then, when they are attached or prefixed to what? To any noun, that noun is an indication that it is indeed a noun. Are you understanding? MashaAllah. طيب.
الخلاف هذا هل هو يترتب عليه شيء؟
I'm not asking the question. The Shaykh is saying, الخلاف هذا هل هو يترتب على شيء أو يترتب عليه شيء؟ No. Does it have any consequence? Is it consequential? Is it useful? What's your opinion? Do you see that? So we agree with him that لا يترتب عليه شيء. It is not consequential at all. And he said, even abadan, not at all. Not at all. So it is not actually valuable now.
الخلاف لفظي. إذا وجدت كلمة فيها الألف واللام.
Now here is conclusion there. وعلى هذا. And then we can conclude safely, inshallah, that إذا وجدت كلمة فيها
الألف واللام أعلم أنها اسم كذا تقول.
خلاص. Anytime you see a word consisting or prefix with what? Alif and lam, rest assured that it is what? And now. That is the finest indication.
كذا تقول الليل في هذه الأيام قصير. الليل ما فيها من علامات الاسم الألف واللام. قصير ما فيها من علامات الاسم التنوين.
Step back. When you say الليل في هذه الأيام قصير, الليل في هذه الأيام, where is the noun here? Where is the noun here? Al-Layl. And then Ayam. Al-Ayam is also a name. No, because they are all prefixed by what? The Alif and Lam. No. Yeah, Qasu is the name now. Go on. Because what? Domati now.
دخول الألف واللام وحروف الخفض يعني حروف الجر. هذه العلامة الرابعة. إذن أقسام الكلام ثلاثة. دليلها التتبع والاستقراء. ما هي الأقسام؟ اسم وفعل وحرف.
Stop. This is by way of review. Is sort of recapturing what he has said before. That this is the fourth feature of a noun. Alif and Lam, once they are connected and attached as a prefix or prefix to a word, that word is what is considered as a noun name. Now, and therefore, this brings us to what? That the parts of the speech are what? The ism, and the fi'l, and then what? And the half, right? And these are what the signs by which we can what? Determine what a noun is. Now, this is the gist, the summary, in a nutshell, of what he has said previously. Now, and what he has said previously is again explained by what? Atatabu, Deliloa. What is the opinion on that? What is the sign? It's Atatabu, والاستقراء.
هي الأقسام اسم وفعل وحرف. ولكل ما من هذه 3 علامات فالاسم له 4 علامات قال المؤلف ما هي الخفض والتنوين ودخول الألف واللام وحروف الخفض فمتى وجدت كلمة فيها واحدة من هذه العلامات فهي اسم.
ما شاء الله. Can you explain it for us? Try.
He said speech is divided into 3 parts. Noun, verb, particle. And the noun itself has 4 signs, 6 signs. And the first one is the khaf, that it takes a kasra, or either it has a tanween, whether dhammatain, ismatain, or he has an alif and lam, or that he is preceded by a khaf jar. Fi, ala, min, all those. Then if you do see any of those 4 signs, it's a noun. You find 3 parts of speech, and we gave the signs of the first one, which has 4.
Anything to be added to this? If it is preceded, announced by alif and lam, because alif and lam only comes as a prefix attached in the beginning to a noun. And most cases, names of things or names of places. But proper nouns are different. Some proper nouns may not take what alif and lam at all. For example, Ibrahim. Is it connected to alif and lam? No. But do you consider it a name or noun? Yes. Are we okay? So alif and lam only comes at the beginning of what? Of the noun. Whereas tanween comes where? Also at the beginning? No. At the what? At the very end, at the tail end of what? Of the word. And that is enough and elaborate indication that what you are dealing with is no other than a noun. Half a jar. No, half a jar. Also the same thing. It always comes what? At the tail end of the name, of the noun. Marat would be a Rajulin at the end. No, that's the huruful jar. Huruful jar, they come at the beginning. These names are made what jerry by what? By the huruful jerry. So huruful jerry comes first, then at the end of the name, then comes the what? The kasra or the tanween, in which case may be.
Because he says signs are 4. He said he differentiated the khaf itself as a sign, huruful jar as another sign. And that's why earlier the bi rajuli, he has the khaf, which is b. Then the tanween, and then the khaf itself too. So wouldn't that make it 3? Rather than
3, because of the harf. So what he say that you have the kaf al-jari, and then the khaf, and then the tanween. These are not always in one word or in one sentence. Sometimes they may one of these may appear, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. Now, but when alif and lam is involved, only 2. Alif and lam, and then kasra. Never tanween. Are you okay? Alif and lam. When you attach it at the beginning to any noun, then the kasra will be an indication of what? That this is a noun. Both the kasra and then the what? The alif and lam, but not tanween. But as for tanween, then it can be 3. The tanween, and then what? The jari, khafd, and then what? The harf. Now, so that's what is explained. Are we okay on that? Inshallah. Here you are. Yes, exactly. But once alif and lam comes in, it drives away. It's very powerful. Alif and lam is powerful. It doesn't like rival at all. Well, it takes only one rival, and that is what? Kasra. Are you okay? Alhamdulillah.
بعيد بعيد ما هي اسم
إذا
هذه العلامات فهي اسم. حسنا، بعيد ما هي؟
اوكي yes, go on. Fine.
ما هي اسم لأنها تقبل البعيد. ذا كذا دار اسم لأنها تقبل التنوين. هذه دار واسعة. مسجد اسم، كتاب اسم، نور اسم، شمس اسم، قمر اسم، سماء اسم. المهم على كل حال كل كلمة تقبل واحدة من هذه العلامات أو فيها واحدة من هذه العلامات فهي اسم.
والله أعلم. When the Shaykh said Wallahu Alam, what do you think? Wallahu Alam. That's interesting, very, very nice. Now, so any questions? Do we understand then? Now we have finished what? The part of speech. What comes here is what? Tadribat alama sabaq. What does it mean? Exercises. Are you ready for the exercises? Any volunteers?
We all
No. Okay, let's go on. Bismillah. Ikra.
ما تقول في رجل كتب لك رسالة يحكي قصة رحلته
يحكي
قصة رحلته إلى مكة في الحج ورجوعه منها. هل يسمى هذا كلاما أم لا؟
Here's the question. Here's a sentence. What should we say a sentence? Here's a cluster of words put together. في رجل ما تقول في رجل كتب لك رسالة يحكي قصة رحلته إلى مكة في الحج ورجوعه منها. هل يسمى هذا كلام أم لا؟ ليه؟ لماذا؟ What is the meaning? Look at the meaning. What do you think about a person who writes a letter? So he writes a letter to a friend about who went to Mecca, and then coming back from Hajj, and you say this is not a sentence. It's not a speech. It's not a speech. Why? Because of one word. When you say kataba, then اللفظ هنا بلسان يخرج عن كتاب وإشارة. So if you write, it may be something worthwhile, something valuable, it doesn't matter. But we don't call it what? Is that strange? What is strange? Something beautiful. It has meaning. But as far as Arab grammarians are concerned, it's just a cluster of words. They don't consider it even to be what? To be a kalam.
هذا ليس بكلام عند النحويين لأنه ليس بلفظ. حسنا، ما تقول فيما إذا قال لك شخص إن اجتهدت، هل هذا كلام أم لا؟
If you say to a person, if you do well, if you study hard, if you do your best, and so forth and so on, do you call this language speech? Why? It's not left because it's not mufid. If you study hard, so what? What have you said? This is called phrase. Just put words good in. If you study hard, it doesn't mean anything. You have not come to a conclusion, right? So This is also not speech. It's not good word. So when you are speaking your Arabic, please make useful sentences. Arrive at logical conclusions. You are shart, as a shart, jawabu shart. That's what it means in jawabu shart. It has to be complete. In ishtahata, najata or tanja or that kind of thing. That's a jawabu shart. MashaAllah. طيب. Go on.
ما تقول في رجل قال لك إن لا ليس بكلام لأنه غير مفيد.
If somebody says inna, look, inna, what is inna? Indeed, harf ta'kid, right? Ta'kid, the emphasis. والنصب كذلك. Inna, indeed. So what? Is that speech? Is that speech? It's not useful. It's not useful because he said it doesn't make any sense now. So that's what he said.
هل هذا صحيح إن كان هي أمر من
Yes, a problem. Yes, a problem. Sahih. It's not a sentence, right? لا إن كان هي أمر من الأنين فهو كلام. إن كان هي أمر من الأنين فهو okay. أنين like أنين المرض أو أنين المريض, like mourning, to reading in pain. Somebody is in pain, he's sick. أنين المريض. Allah Akbar, subhanallah, mashallah. That is considered Allah Akbar. But this is for a special topic that Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen just referred to it, and it can be dealt with seriously in serious education. But this for beginners, he doesn't want to delve into it. He just mentioned it as what? As a warning that this is an what? An exception. This is what? An exception. So, Alanin, who is writhing in pain, mourning, his moans are considered speech because he's needing attention. Maybe on the brink of death, in pain, accident. He is sick. So it is given special treatment. His moans, his pain is considered. No, that must be understood. So in كان هي أمر من العنين فهي كلام. طيب. Continue. Stop. Okay. Stop.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
نكتفي بهذا القدر واخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم.